Have you ever sat down to work, full of intention, but found yourself reaching for your phone 5 minutes later? You told yourself today would be productive, that you'd finally tackle that task you've been avoiding. But hours passed, and all you had to show for it was a handful of open tabs. A tired mind, and that sinking feeling that you wasted the day again. It's easy to think you're lazy, that you lack discipline, or that something's wrong with you. But what if I told you that you're not lazy at all? You're just distracted, overstimulated, burned out by a world that's constantly fighting for your attention. It's about how your brain has been trained in a world that no longer rewards focus. This isn't a personal failing. It's not about how motivated you are, but the good news is you can get it back. You can rebuild your focus and restore your clarity. You can feel sharp, productive, and purposeful again. The truth is, your ability to concentrate hasn't disappeared. It's just buried under layers of noise, habits, and overstimulation. But first, you need to understand what's really going on. Every time you pick up your phone, check your notifications, or jump from one task to another, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. Multitasking is praised, but true attention is overlooked. That hit feels good, so your brain wants more. And soon, you're not doing things because they're meaningful. And more importantly, you can fix it. Not because you're weak, but because your brain has become addicted to distraction. You're doing them because they're immediately stimulating. The moment your hand reaches for your phone during a task, that pause, that space between impulse and action, is where your power lives. Clean your workspace. Create a routine. Block distracting websites. Turn off notifications. Not just for one day, but as a standard. Because your environment shapes your behavior far more than you realize. The instant you open a new tab instead of finishing what's in front of you. These tiny shifts matter because they reveal the automatic loops that have been running your day. It's about reconditioning your mind, rebuilding the muscle of attention, and creating an environment that supports clarity rather than chaos. If your desk is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your day is unstructured, your thoughts will be as well. This pattern rewires your brain. It trains you to seek short-term pleasure over long-term reward. And it slowly erodes your capacity for deep work. You find it harder to stay with one thought. It's harder to read a full page without checking something. It's harder to finish what you start. The platforms we use every day are designed this way. They're not just passive tools. They're engineered to hijack your attention. The more decisions you make in a day, the more your mental energy drains. That's why people like Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Fewer decisions, more bandwidth for what matters. They reward impulsivity, not patience, reaction, not reflection. So no, you're not lazy. You've just been in an environment that conditions you to be constantly interrupted, constantly stimulated, and constantly scattered. And it's not just the devices, it's the culture. Productivity is glamorized, but deep focus is rare. We live in a world where being busy is a badge of honor, yet no one stops to ask whether all this activity is leading to anything meaningful. So if your focus has felt broken, if your mind feels cluttered, if your energy feels fractured, you're not alone. But it's not about downloading another app or finding the perfect planner. It begins with awareness. You have to start noticing when you get pulled away. Once you notice the habit loop, you can disrupt it. You pause, you breathe, you choose differently. One of the most powerful ways to reclaim your focus is to remove the need for constant decision-making. Decision fatigue is real. So, simplify your environment. If your phone is within reach, you'll check it. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Another key to restoring your focus is to reconnect with why you're redoing what you're redoing. When your tasks feel disconnected from meaning, they feel heavier. But when you tie your actions to purpose, focus follows naturally. What's at stake? Why does this matter? Who benefits when you show up fully? When you write that report, when you build that business, when you finish that project, what changes? Oh, it's your brain asking for space to reset, to wander, to breathe. Without it, you're just going through motions. With it, you're on a mission. We reach for stimulation the moment it arises. Waiting in line, we scroll. Sitting in silence, we reach for noise. Eat a meal without a screen. These simple acts are like push-ups for your attention span. Clarity fuels discipline. Purpose fuels focus. It's also important to start rebuilding your brain's tolerance for boredom. Boredom is not your enemy, but in our world, boredom has become unbearable. It's where your creativity wakes up. It's where you reconnect with your potential. Your attention is your most valuable asset, not your time. Not your money, your attention. But if you take it back, everything else begins to align. Where it goes, your energy flows. Your choices follow. Your results emerge. Create 1 hour of undistracted work. Put your phone in another room. Be where you are, not where your phone wants you to be. This constant stimulation comes at a cost, because real focus requires space. Real creativity needs silence. Insight doesn't come when your brain is overstimulated. It comes when your mind is still. You become the kind of person who doesn't just react to life, but who designs it with intention. The constant urge to check, scroll, or bounce from one thing to another begins to fade. It's about showing up each day a little more present, a little more focused, a little more in control. Create a space that invites depth, not distraction. Protect it like you would protect your physical health, because attention is mental nutrition. What you feed it determines how you feel, what you create, and who you become. Focus feels less like a fight and more like a flow. So let yourself be bored. Let your mind wander. Take a walk without your phone. Over time, you'll notice something shift. You'll start to feel more present, more aware, more in control. The next time you start blaming yourself, remember this. And that flow, that deep state where time disappears and effort feels effortless, is where your best work lives. But to get there, you have to be willing to slow down, to be intentional, to create boundaries around your time and attention. Give your focus a home. If there's one thing to remember, it's this. You can build a life that reflects your potential instead of hiding it behind distractions. If your attention is scattered, your life will be too. So start small. Turn off one notification. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress, because once you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your freedom. You stop being busy and start being effective. You stop drifting and start deciding. You stop consuming and start creating. This is not some vague promise. This is real. Your ability to focus is not gone. It's just waiting to be reawakened. And now you know how. Not by trying harder, but by stepping back, slowing down, and retraining your mind in a world designed to distract it. So the next time you feel lazy, pause. The next time you can't concentrate, breathe. You're not lazy. You're human in a world full of noise. But with awareness, with systems, with intention, you can cut through that noise. You can focus again. You can finish what you start. And it starts right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, close the extra tabs. Silence the alerts. Take a deep breath and take one action, one step, one task. This moment is your chance to reclaim your focus. Don't wait, begin.